Fans of the channel are going to know that I have not been a very big fan of Christopher Can't Write Well at Marvel Comics. While his United States Captain America is terrible, I think his Iron Man is far worse, specifically the relationship between Tony Stark and Patsy Walker, a.k.a. Hellcat, a.k.a. fourth-rate Batwoman. And apparently, they're going to take their relationship to the next level in Iron Man number 20. And here to talk to me about this is the Marvel historian himself. Doc, how you doing, buddy?
You know what? This is about exactly what I'd expect from Christopher Can't Write Well.
So basically, this character, Patsy Walker, has been nagging Tony and telling him he's a piece of shit because he's white and he's rich and whatnot, and putting him in his place and stuff like that. And now Tony is going to somehow acquiesce, despite being a billionaire playboy, you know, not having a problem with the ladies. He's been in a lot of relationships over the years, and he's going to put a ring on this one. The fucking hag, the nag that has been bugging him and ruining his comic book series is finally he's going to try to tie the knot.
I feel like I already read this once, and it was done by Tom King with essentially the exact same characters. Batman and Iron Man are the same characters in their respective universes.
Archetypes, yes.
Yeah, they are the same archetypes. I already read this once by Tom King, where rich billionaire superhero genius needs to marry his mommy wife. And that's all Hellcat is here. And it's, I fuck him. You know what? Honestly, fuck him at this point. He could have put one on Pepper for his entire time that they were together on and off. He's been with other women throughout the years. Let him be miserable. Maybe that's what he wants. Maybe that's the thing that'll really, really bring Tony Stark to the next level. Mommy wife.
Me personally, I'm not against Tony Stark getting engaged or married or even having kids. I know you have a problem with stuff like that. But for this Patsy Walker character that has been an albatross on the series, that basically just talks down to Tony Stark the entire time and tells him what a piece of shit he is, I get like, are we saying that Tony Stark has no self-esteem? What does this say about Tony Stark? And more likely, what does it say about Christopher Can't Write Well, Tom King, and others? Why do they continuously partner these well-established, confident male superheroes with these nags that just talk shit on them and bring them down?
They are all emotional masochists. They just like it. They feel like, oh, well, I've done everything else. I've been the confident guy. I feel like they've decided that every single rich, like, genius hero kind of guy is the type of guy that goes and gets his ass whipped by a dominatrix for pay on the weekend, like some weird CEO. That's what I feel like they're all thinking that's what they do. Like, oh, I am so in control and confident in my actual life, my personal life, I must be the whipping boy.
It just sucks for the character and fans of Tony Stark that we've never gotten him married, but now we're going to go down the path with this character that has been so toxic. He's in it. Essentially, Tony Stark in this comic book is in an abusive relationship. He's marrying his abuser.
Yeah, but we're in 2022. Women can't be abusers. That's the message that we've been getting from Tom King's Batman, from Christopher Can't Write Well's Iron Man. Women emotionally berating and treating men like shit and telling them they ain't worth shit and all that other stuff. It's Yas Queen Slay. All the men deserve it because that's, I guess, them proving their feminism or something. Fuck if I...
They're allies, right? You know what that means.
Exactly.
There's going to be a bad headline somewhere.
Yeah, just put them on the registry now. No, like, seriously. It's like the 90-pound girl beating up the 240-pound Navy SEALs. It's just lazy modern writing tropes that, 25 years ago might have been a little subversive. But now they are not only tropey, they are an expectation of being added there. You could never have a story where Maggie, Patsy Walker, and maybe a little egotistical Tony Stark find middle ground. She's got to be right. He's got to be wrong. That's the modern trope in writing. That is what we're getting. She hasn't changed the slightest bit in this comic. All you've done is watch Tony Stark get emotionally and mentally beaten down and become a fucking puss in this comic.
Is this like, it's a toxic masculinity that they're trying to get rid of? I never thought of Tony Stark as toxic masculinity. He's obviously a confident billionaire. Is it because he beds too many women, Doc?
I think that's what it is. I think because he was the playboy especially in the 70s and 80s comics, he was the playboy, always dating models. And the same thing with Bruce Wayne and Tom King's Batman. Historically, he was the Bruce Wayne side, even though it was kind of a cover, was him dating models and being a lush and all that kind of stuff. Same with Tony Stark. So we have to bring them down to they can't find a happy relationship. They must be punished for being who they were before. That's what this is.
When I see stuff like this, I just think all masculinity is toxic now. And it's
to
just
these writers, yes.
Yeah, it's just a systematic wiping out of anything that could be remotely considered masculine within fiction. Really, obviously, we're talking about comic books.
Well, in fairness, did you watch *Halt and Catch Fire*? I mean,
no.
Why
would I watch that?
Because that was Christopher Wrightwell's TV show, and that's what it devolved into. It was beat Lee Pace and whatever the bearded guy down, beat them down and show them all the error of their ways, while the genius girl ended up being really the lead. Initially, it started kind of cool, and with all the conflicting personalities, and them trying to find a way to work together. But no, that's his trope. That's his thing.
Why don't they just rename the series Hellcat and Iron Boy?
You know what? Tony Stark's next for his wedding tuxedo armor, it's going to have a leash on the back.
Might as well.
Yeah, she's going to have him on a leash on all fours, barking like a dog.
I just find it all disappointing. Comic book weddings. I mean, that's like the first big crossover event. I think is the Thing's wedding, right?
No, Reed and Sue's wedding.
Reed and Sue's wedding. My bad. The Thing's wedding was the next one. Yeah. But weddings used to be a really big thing. You get in there, you build up to it. You might build up for 2 or 3 years. It's supposed to be exciting.
Unless you're Black Panther and Storm, and then they just shove it in there in 3 months.
Well, somebody's got to elope. But I don't think Storm was emasculating T'Challa, was she?
Not at first. Now she is. Especially during that issue of, what was it, Marauders?
Marauders?
Yeah, where she... yeah.
She beats the shit out of his entire family.
Yeah.
Almost murders his sister, destroys all of his guards. And he's like, you just keep the sword.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. I mean... Look, what it comes down to is when you have competent writers, they can do this with a relatively alpha-ish female and alpha-type male character, make them have to find common ground. But all this is just berate the man, the woman's right, everything about what he's done is wrong, and blah, blah, blah. Can we skip to the part with the Iron God thing and then him probably dying? Look, let's just replace him with Teen Tony at this point. That's the only way out of this. Fuck it. Fuck this comic. Fuck Steve or Chris Cantwell. Somebody fire him.
Well, there's got to be a place for Tony Stark Iron Man in the future of Marvel Comics. I don't think Marvel Comics can ever get back to where their sales are really good and they're kind of driving growth in the industry, without a successful Spider-Man, successful X-Men line. And then you need an Avengers team that works. And a big part of that is a successful Tony Stark. And as long as this is the Tony Stark, he can't be successful because he's a shell of what he was. And this isn't, we're going to make Tony Stark a drunk, for the Ironmonger, story that plays out over 18 months or whatever. And then he redeems himself. There's never going to be redemption. He's just going to be told what a bigger and bigger piece of shit he is.
Yeah, but that's, I'm pretty sure, the only trick in Chris Cantwell's playbook. Because it's showing, like, look, I was hoping for something better, but his big thing did this exact same thing. That was his.
So are you recommending people go and watch *Halt and Catch Fire*?
I'm recommending actually the first 2 seasons and then skip everything after that. The first 2 seasons were actually good, and then it gets into. Do you want to watch a version of his Iron Man comic? Go watch the rest of the seasons.
Yeah, that's the problem with his Iron Man comic. He forgot the first 2 years of good stories.
Yeah, exactly. No, he just brought in Patsy to yell at Tony from issue 1 and call him a loser and call him a piece of shit for not doing all of the things she doesn't do.
She should be wearing a necklace right now with his iron balls on it.
I'm pretty sure she's already turned them into fucking earrings.
Just recently, I talked about the war on masculinity within comic books. I more use Captain America and especially Superman to talk about that. If you haven't watched this video, I think you'll really enjoy it. And I kind of expand upon kind of what we were talking about here a lot more, talking about the heroes themselves rather than how they're destroying them, how we should be saving them.